The hidden truth. Why Jamie Dornan finally spoke out and risked his career. The silence that became too loud. For nearly a decade, Jamie Dornan built his public image around modesty, privacy, and a stubborn refusal to participate in Hollywood's tabloid wars. Yet the more he stayed silent, the louder the world spoke for him. Every whisper, every rumor, every manipulated photo of him and Dakota Johnson took on a life of its own. Fans believed he was hiding a grand love story. Tabloids believed he was hiding a scandal. Critics believed he was hiding behind the shadow of a role he desperately wanted to escape. But in 2025, something shifted. The rumors no longer just threatened his public persona, they began to creep into his real life, into the safety he had built with his wife Amelia Warner and their daughters. And suddenly, nearly 10 years of silence felt like a cage. It was in this pressure cooker that Jamie Dornan did the unthinkable. He spoke out. He risked his image, his fanbase, and even his career to finally reveal the truth. And that truth was nothing like what Hollywood imagined. The myth that swallowed a man. To understand why Jamie risked everything, one must go back to 2015, to the moment Christian Grey stepped onto the screen and never left. 50 Shades of Grey didn't just make Jamie famous. It created a cultural obsession. Millions couldn't separate the character from the actor. They didn't want to. Every smirk became flirtation. Every co-star interaction became evidence. Every quiet moment became suspicion. The more Jamie tried to focus on new roles, the more fans dragged him back into the fantasy world of Christian Anna. And Dakota Johnson, equally magnetic, was the second half of a myth that refused to die. By 2020, it had become clear to insiders. Jamie Dornan wasn't famous, he was fictional. A marriage under siege. Jamie's marriage to Amelia Warner had always been one of Hollywood's rare stabilizing forces. She avoided the spotlight, he avoided scandals. Their small family lived quietly between London and Belfast. But the rumors didn't care. Amelia watched as headlines cast her as the other woman. She saw magazines describe her marriage as fragile, strained, and on borrowed time. She heard strangers insist that her husband was secretly in love with his co-star. Even the strongest heart gets tired, a family friend revealed. Amelia never doubted Jamie, what she doubted was the world. Jamie hated seeing that. Hated the way rumors seeped into their home. Hated the idea that his silence might be interpreted as guilt. So, he kept everything inside, until the breaking point arrived. The Malibu scandal that forced his hand. In March 2025, a grainy TikTok video sent Hollywood into meltdown. It showed a man who resembled Jamie Dornan entering a Malibu property late at night, a property reportedly rented for Dakota Johnson's upcoming film rehearsals. The video didn't show his face. It didn't show Dakota. But that didn't matter. In less than 48 hours, the video reached 30 million views. Hashtags like #Jamie and Dakota reunited trended worldwide. Tabloids declared a secret affair revival. Paparazzi surrounded Dakota's New York apartment. Fans attacked Amelia on Instagram, calling her the obstacle. It was a wildfire fueled by fantasy, not truth. And this time, the damage was real. Jamie's PR team tried to manage the situation quietly. Dakota's team issued a soft denial. But nothing stopped the frenzy. Then came the moment that ended everything. The interview that changed Hollywood in 12 seconds. Jamie was sitting in a BBC radio studio promoting The Tourist. The tone was light, the questions predictable, until the host asked, "Jamie, there are rumors you and Dakota Johnson have recently reconnected. Any truth to the Malibu story?" For a brief moment, the room fell silent. Jamie inhaled slowly, looked at the camera, and said words he had avoided for 10 years. No, I wasn't there. I'm not in love with Dakota. And I never had an affair. I'm tired of being cast as a character in a story that isn't my life. He continued, voice steady but eyes heavy. I'm married. I'm devoted to my wife. The rumors need to stop, for her, for our children, and for Dakota too. The host froze. The producers froze. The internet exploded. Within 1 hour. 20 million views. Trending in 28 countries. Headlines everywhere. Fans divided into war camps. Hollywood had never seen Jamie Dornan speak so directly. And they never expected what came next. The backlash that nearly ended his career. Jamie's honesty cracked the fanbase in half. Some fans applauded him. He finally chose truth over fantasy. Respect to Jamie for defending his wife. But others, especially those obsessed with the Jamie Dakota myth, turned on him. The backlash was brutal. Twitter fan accounts attacking him non-stop. Fake quotes circulating accusing him of betraying Dakota. Thousands of angry comments demanding an apology. A petition titled, Jamie Dornan Must Acknowledge Dakota Johnson Relationship, hitting 100,000 signatures. YouTubers accusing him of arrogance. Tabloids calling him emotionally cold. Producers of several romantic projects even got nervous, worried Jamie had broken the illusion that made him bankable. He'd done the right thing. But doing the right thing always has consequences. Dakota Johnson breaks her own silence. The pressure on Dakota became unbearable. She was shooting a film in New York when paparazzi cornered her. Her response was calm, direct, and deeply revealing. Jamie told the truth. I respect him. And I'm glad he finally said it. Privately, Dakota was exhausted. Exhausted from being the fantasy girlfriend of a man who was never hers. Exhausted from fans attacking Chris Martin. Exhausted from being trapped in a decade-long fanfiction she never wrote. One of her closest friends shared. Dakota admires Jamie more after this. She felt like he carried the weight alone for too long. Dakota's statement helped calm the storm, but it didn't stop Jamie's personal crisis. A career on the edge of collapse. Within days of speaking out, the fallout hit Jamie's professional world. A major studio temporarily paused negotiations for a romantic drama he was set to lead. His PR team panicked about brand damage. Several media outlets accused him of insensitivity toward the fans who made him famous. Fan events canceled his scheduled appearances due to security risks. Behind closed doors, Jamie faced questions no actor ever wants to hear. Did you make a mistake? Should you apologize? Can this hurt your career long-term? Jamie's answer was firm, even as his team begged him to be more diplomatic. No, I told the truth. I will not apologize for that. This was the moment he understood the price of honesty. Amelia Warner, the woman at the center of it all. While the world speculated, Amelia stayed silent. But insiders describe her reaction as heart-wrenching. When Jamie returned home after the BBC interview, Amelia reportedly said, "I've been waiting a long time for you to say that." Her support wasn't loud, but it was powerful. She had spent 10 years watching strangers erase her, mock her, disbelieve her marriage, and romanticize her husband with another woman. Now, finally, the truth was spoken. And for the first time, she felt seen. A close family friend shared. Jamie didn't risk his career for Dakota or for himself. He risked it for Amelia, and for their daughters who will grow up Googling his name. Why Jamie really spoke out, the hidden truth. Beneath the noise, the backlash, the emotional storm, lies the real reason Jamie took the risk. He was tired of living as a fictional version of himself. He wasn't fighting a rumor. He was fighting a decade-long identity theft. In a private conversation with a trusted friend, Jamie reportedly said, "I don't want my daughters to grow up thinking their father was a liar. I'd rather lose a movie than lose myself." That was the turning point. Not the tabloids. Not Dakota. Not Hollywood. But his children. Hollywood slowly changes its tune. Weeks after the chaos, something unexpected happened. Industry insiders began to admire Jamie's courage. A producer from Netflix said, "Honesty is rare in this business." Jamie did what most people are too afraid to do. He told the truth. Directors praised his humility. Fans slowly began to understand the burden he had carried. And the studios that once hesitated now saw something more valuable. Authenticity sells. Integrity sells. Truth sells. Jamie Dornan was no longer Christian Grey. He was something far more compelling. A man who chose honesty over Hollywood. What Dakota learned from it all. In the aftermath, Dakota also underwent her own transformation. She began talking openly about reclaiming her identity. "For years, people saw me as Anna. And they saw Jamie as Christian. But we outgrew those versions of ourselves." She and Jamie didn't grow apart. They simply grew into their real selves. And this truth, at last, set both of them free. The new Jamie Dornan. After the dust settled, Jamie made several life-changing decisions. He cut back on romantic roles. He focused on thrillers and dramatic films. He spent more time in Ireland with Amelia and their daughters. He reduced social media presence. He fired advisors who pressured him to maintain the fantasy. Friends say he's happier than he's ever been. Not because the world believes him, but because he finally believes himself again. The final word, and the freedom it bought. Months later, Jamie was asked if he regretted risking his career. His answer was simple. No. You cannot regret telling the truth. You can only regret hiding it. And with that one sentence, he closed a decade-long chapter of confusion, projection, and fantasy. Jamie Dornan didn't just speak out. He liberated himself. He protected his family. He ended the myth. And in doing so, he became more real, more respected, and more human than ever before. What the world didn't know. Here is the hidden truth the world must finally accept. Jamie Dornan never wanted to be Christian Grey. He never wanted to be the center of a fanfiction romance. He never wanted to be the man people believed he was. He only ever wanted to be himself. A husband, a father, an actor, and a man who refused to live a lie. And in speaking out, he proved something rare in Hollywood. Sometimes the biggest risk is the one that saves you.